October 13, 1307, the day that cursed Friday the 13th forever. It was dawn in France when knights, once the most powerful in Christendom, awoke to the sound of soldiers breaking down their doors. The king's order was clear: the Knights Templar were to be arrested, every single one of them. The Knights Templar had risen from humble beginnings nearly 2 centuries earlier. Formed in 1119 by 9 Crusader knights, their mission was simple: to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. But what began as a small brotherhood of warrior monks soon grew into one of the most powerful organizations in medieval Europe. They took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, yet their order became unimaginably wealthy. Through donations, land grants, and their innovative system of banking, they built castles, farms, fleets of ships, and temples across Europe and the Middle East. They were both warriors and financiers, fighting in the Crusades while managing the fortunes of kings. With great power came suspicion. By the late 13th century, the Templars were no longer needed as crusaders. The Holy Land had fallen, and the Christian armies had withdrawn. But the Templars remained, rich, organized, and loyal only to the Pope. To many rulers, especially King Philip IV of France, they were a threat. Philip was deeply in debt to the Templars. He had borrowed vast sums to fund his wars and his lavish court. When he could not repay them, he turned to a darker solution: destruction. In secret, Philip plotted their downfall. He began by spreading rumors, whispers that the Templars practiced heresy, devil worship, and blasphemy. He accused them of denying Christ, spitting on the cross, and worshipping strange idols. The church had heard similar rumors before, but Philip was determined to make them stick. He pressured Pope Clement V, who was already under his influence, to act. And so, on Friday, October 13, 1307, a royal decree was issued. All Templars in France were to be arrested immediately. Before sunrise, soldiers stormed Templar properties across the kingdom. Knights were dragged from their beds, chained, and thrown into dungeons. In Paris, the great Templar headquarters, the Temple, fell without resistance. What followed was a nightmare. Under torture, many confessed to crimes they did not commit. Some claimed they had been forced to renounce Christ, others spoke of secret rituals, of kissing idols or feet, or of mocking the cross. These confessions, extracted by pain, became the foundation of the charges against them. The methods were brutal. Men were stretched on racks, burned with irons, starved, and humiliated. Some died before ever reaching trial. Inquisitors recorded every word, and soon, across Europe, the image of the Templars as holy knights began to crumble. Their enemies rejoiced, their allies remained silent, and their order, once untouchable, was collapsing from within. But not all Templars confessed. Some remained defiant, declaring their innocence until their final breath. At the heart of this tragedy stood Jacques de Molay, the last Grandmaster of the Knights Templar. He was an old man, proud, fearless, and devoted to his order. Dragged before inquisitors, he was accused of heresy and idolatry. At first, he confessed under pressure, but later he withdrew his confession, declaring the Templars innocent and his confession false. It was a bold act, one that sealed his fate. On March 18, 1314, Jacques de Molay and another high-ranking Templar were led to the stake on a small island in the Seine River, in the heart of Paris. Before the flames were lit, de Molay stood tall and spoke his final words. God knows who is wrong and has sinned. Soon, misfortune shall come to those who have condemned us wrongly. As the fire rose around him, he refused to scream. Witnesses claimed he prayed until the end. The Grandmaster of the Templars died a martyr, and with him, the order was officially destroyed. But his curse was just beginning. Under pressure from King Philip, Pope Clement V formally dissolved the Order of the Temple in 1312. Their lands and wealth were seized and handed to the Knights Hospitaller, though much mysteriously vanished. Some said it was hidden, Others claimed it was spirited away by Templars who escaped France before the arrests. In the years that followed, a legend began to grow, that Friday the 13th was cursed because of the day the Templars fell. Within months of de Molay's death, both King Philip and Pope Clement were dead. To many, this was divine retribution, the Grandmaster's curse fulfilled. Rumors spread that surviving Templars had fled with the Order's vast treasure, gold, relics, and sacred documents. Some said it was hidden beneath the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Others claimed it was carried by ship to Scotland, where sympathetic nobles gave them refuge. These legends would inspire centuries of speculation about secret societies, hidden knowledge, and ancient conspiracies. Though the Order was gone, the name of the Templars never faded. They became symbols of mystery, guardians of lost wisdom, and keepers of ancient secrets. Writers, historians, and conspiracy theorists have kept their story alive, linking them to everything from the Holy Grail to the Freemasons. What began as a brotherhood of warrior monks ended as one of history's greatest enigmas. The Templars may have fallen, but their legend rose higher than ever. Their courage, discipline, and mystery continue to captivate the imagination of people around the world. And so, the day that marked their downfall, Friday the 13th, became forever linked with bad luck, betrayal, and the shadow of a cursed order. But perhaps it was not a curse. Perhaps it was history's way of ensuring that the world would never forget them. The fall of the Templars, a story of faith, power, greed, and vengeance. A story that began in the name of God, and ended in fire.